Hi, Scottie McNiece here from International Anthem, and delighted to be here in the Nonesuch archive, or library I think they maybe call it, but I'm very excited to pull some personally relevant records from the shelves here. I'm going to start, I guess, with Mambo Sinuendo, this Cooder and Manuel Galbán record, which has been very important to me for a long time. My dad had this on CD growing up, and we used to rock it in his Ford Taurus on my way to school. And in my early 20s, when I started getting real serious about collecting records, I remember buying this on Discogs for like way too much money, which was a little insult to injury when I first met David Byther from Nonesuch, and he just gave me a free copy of it. So now I have two, one that was free and one that was like maybe $150 or something, which meant a lot to me as a 20-something. But I love this record, especially love the sound of these recordings, which I think is, the engineer's name is Jerry Boys. And whenever I see his name in credits, I'm always like, okay, that's gonna sound beautiful. So Mambo Sinuendo. Sam Gendel, COOKUP. You know, I've only listened to this record one time. I do like it. But I more thought about pulling this record because I remember going to see him. He did a show with Micaiah McCraven, an artist from our label who we also worked with Nonesuch on, and Sam opened the gig. I really love Sam's whole thing. I love his sound, but also like his approach and his like sense of humor that he has. I remember at that gig, I don't know how he did it, but he started the opening line from "And I Will Always Love You," but it was just like he had it sustain on "and it just like stayed on I for like 2 minutes, and he improvised over it for like 2 minutes, and I don't know how he got it to hold on that one note, but maybe it was a simple loop, but it sounded pretty brilliant to me at the time. He's just a goofball, and I love him for that, so I wanted to pull this record and share that memory. I just felt like Ben LaMar Gay, Open Arms to Open Us. This is a record that we released on our label along with Nonesuch, so maybe it feels like cheating that I'm talking about this one, but I also consider it one of my primary jobs on this earth, to tell the world about how brilliant Ben is. He is genuinely just someone who has inspired me so much to do my job every day. And his music is unlike anything I've ever heard. If you haven't heard this record, you really need to hear this record. Ben just covers so much territory in his way that's very distinct. It doesn't feel like he's cosplaying any of these sounds. This is all music that he's really internalized, and he's coming from a very unique, very personal place. Even when he's doing, covers contemporary music, he covers almost a tropicalia. You hear Gilberto Gil in the music. You hear, one of the songs in this record I think is one of the greatest ballads ever written, called "Oh Great Be the Lake." And the great collaboration with a Rwandan artist here, Dorothée Munyeneza. You really should listen to this record. It's freaking brilliant. Ben LaMar Gay, Open Arms to Open Us. Caroline Shaw and Attacca Quartet, Orange. When I first came to visit, when I was first getting to know you all here at Nonesuch, I came to visit David Byther here at the office, and he sent me off with a bunch of CDs, and this was one of them. I didn't know anything about it, I just knew that he gave it to me. And this became one of my favorite pieces of music for that year, maybe even for the last 5-7 years of my life. This music really moves me. I think it's incredibly beautiful. I was lucky I got to see her and Attacca Quartet perform it at Big Ears 2 years ago. It was an incredible performance. This is very emotional music. I don't really know much about classical or contemporary classical music, so I don't really know a ton to say about it technically, but I will say that's one of the reasons I love this kind of music, is because it's new to me, and it has like the magic of music that's one of the things that drives me to listen to contemporary and classical music. It's just I'm listening to it purely for the sound and just discovering it. So this is an album that you really should listen to, and you probably will listen to a lot if you start listening to it. So Orange. Chris Thile, Bach. But yeah, so my love of Bach goes back to a young child studying Suzuki piano, and I did really good in one lesson. They gave me one of those statuettes of Bach, looking real cool. It was the first statuette I got as a Suzuki piano student, as maybe 6 or 7 years old. But all that aside, this record absolutely blew me away when I heard it. I didn't really know what to expect. I'd never listened to Chris Thile before I heard this. It's incredible to hear someone play this music so precisely and beautifully on a mandolin. I didn't even know that was possible. It's incredible. This is actually another record. I have a lot of records at home, but then I also have this small section of the shelf that's right next to my record player, which records that I reach for all the time. And this is one of the ones that's actually in that section. I can't get enough of it, so I would listen to this if I were you. HIVE 1, Ty Braxton. Another exquisite piece of music that I had no idea was on Nonesuch. Which is one of my favorite things about Nonesuch, is constantly discovering records that I've loved in my life that I had no idea came out on Nonesuch, because there's just been so much. This is a record that really floored me at the time. I used to have this blog it was a Tumblr blog, Uncanny Music, and every year I did my favorite albums of the year, and this was one of them, whatever year that was. A strong recommendation from me. Okay, so yeah, this CD, Drift Multiply, Tristan Perich. I was very blessed to be at the debut of this music at St. John's Cathedral in, I think it was 2018, which was incredible. I mean, first there was the visual array of the string musicians along with these speakers that were on these crazy stands. And I think it's 50 speakers and 50 musicians, but there was the visual impact of that, just walking in to see that. And then, of course, being in that cathedral, it's one of the biggest cathedrals in the country, I think. Just the acoustics in there and hearing that sound just smear and the buildup of the reverberation as this music was performed. It was like taking a really wonderful bath. This is some exquisite music. We have Jeremy Denk, circa 1300 to circa 2000. This was another CD that I knew nothing about when it was handed to me by David, the president of this lovely institution. And, I just put it in my CD player. I mean, I guess he handed it to me and told me that it was a pianist who was doing a sort of survey of the history of, it starts super early music and moves all the way up through modern music to Ligeti, who's someone who I'm a fan of. But yeah, I mean, it's really wonderful. I don't really have anything special to say other than I just really like it, I guess. So hopefully that didn't come off as a weak endorsement, but trust me, it's great. Before I go, I want to tell you about 2 different albums that I could not find here in the archive, because there's just so much stuff here. It would have taken me forever, and I gotta go. But the first is The Wild Bull by Morton Subotnick, which is a piece of music that I heard for the first time at a record shop in London called Idle Moments, and I was just in there, I was just being like, what is this? It was blowing my mind. I could tell it was modular, improvisational maybe, but I couldn't, I was just like, this is wild. It sounded like early modular with the way that he was exploring the sounds. And I was like, man, I gotta know what this is. And he's like, oh yeah, here is this album. It's The Wild Bull by Morton Subotnick. And I was like, oh cool. And I turned it around, I was like, oh, this is on Nonesuch. Cool. From 68 or 69 or something. And but I saw that it was part of a series. It was on the back, it said this was a Nonesuch commission, which I thought was really cool to think that this piece of music that is so groundbreaking and sounded so contemporary 60 years later. I was like, oh, this was commissioned by Nonesuch. I was like, that's pretty freaking cool. And the other album I want to talk about is The Bauls of Bengal, which is part of the Nonesuch Explorer series. And that's another one that sits on my shelf, the mini shelf right by my record player that I listen to all the time. It's really, really incredible music. Powerful recording. Honestly, I couldn't tell you much about the music other than, it's Indian musicians, don't know where it was recorded, but it's called The Bauls of Bengal, and it's incredible, man. It's fun. It's good party music too. I like to put it on when I have people over. So, but yeah, you gotta know about those things. Even though I can't find them here in this extensive archive, you should definitely listen to them. And thank you. Thanks for letting me into this crazy closet. See you later.